What's up guys, and welcome back to the Alolan DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. Now remember last episode we covered the water poison type Toxapex, and I asked you guys which Pokemon you'd like to see today. It was a choice between two grass types, either Lurantis or Tsareena, and Tsareena came out on top. So that's who we'll be covering today. It's a she, it's 100% female, so we're covering them today. But of course we have the vote for next episode, which possibly tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, whenever. We're having our first Alolan form. The choice is between Sandslash or Ninetales, so if you'd like to see the Ice Steel Alolan Sandslash covered, write Sandslash down in the comments. If you'd like to see the Ice Fairy Alolan Ninetales covered, write down Ninetales in the comments, and the one with those votes I'll be covering next episode. But for now, let's jump in and have a look at Tsareena. So, she is number 763 in the National Pokédex and is a pure grass type, as well as being the fruit Pokemon. She stands at only 3 foot 11 inches or 1.2 meters, so she's not very tall. And she also weighs 47.2 pounds or 21.4 kilograms. Breeding and egg-wise, as I mentioned, she is 100% female, so completely female, never a male, and she's in the grass egg group only. Evolution-wise, it's a 3-part evolution line. We have Bunsweet, Steenie, and Tsareena. Bunsweet evolves into Steenie starting at level 18, and Steenie will evolve further into Tsareena when you level her up with Stomp. So that's the evolution method there. Base stat wise, if we take a quick look, you can see the highest base stat for Tsareena is physical attack at 120. It's pretty damn high. Apart from that, her defences are also pretty decent at 98 for both of them, and then moving further down we have health points at speed at 72, and finally special attack at 50. So she's not a special attacker at all, but a nice high physical attack is pretty good, as well as sort of decent defences. So she can go either way. She can be a all-out physical attacker, or you can build her defensive while also dealing some damage. She has 3 abilities available to her. First up we have Leaf Guard, which prevents status conditions in sunny weather, which is nothing too special. Queenly Majesty, her second ability however, is the better of the 3 I suppose, and that is because it prevents priority moves from being used against her, so she can avoid stuff like Quick Attack, Extreme Speed, Aqua Jet, stuff like that, Accelerock, loads of cool moves. She can just be like, nah, not going to work against me. So it's sort of, it's good for dealing with Pokemon that rely on priority. So Pokemon can have really high attack, but the speed can be lacking or the defense can be lacking, so they rely on priority to get their moves in before they themselves die. However, Tsareena can just completely block that and be like, nah, I'm going first, or you can't use your priority moves. And of course, if they only have priority moves, then they're pretty screwed. Her hidden ability though is also here, and that is Sweet Veil, which prevents it and its ally Pokemon from falling asleep. So it's decent, but not as good as Queenly Majesty. So looking at the pure grass typing, being pure grass, it's nothing amazing. Only 4 resistances: grass, water, electric and ground, and 5 weaknesses. So generally grass is a fairly weak type. Fire, flying, poison, bug and ice are the weaknesses, and neutral from the other types. So it's not an amazing typing itself. It is a first pure grass 3-stage line we've seen in a long time, but the typing is nothing amazing, but it's not going to hinder Tsareena at all. So the moves. The moves are quite interesting for Tsareena. We have, as I mentioned, it's a physical attacker, so we're looking basically at physical attacks. A few stats ones sprinkled in there for the different ways you can use her in battle. First up is the move she learns upon evolution from Steenie, and that is Trop Kick. It's a base 70 power move, it's grass, and it's her signature move basically, and it has a guaranteed chance, or basically what it does as an added effect is it reduces the enemy's physical attack. So basically you just get to completely wall off any physical attackers you come up against. You can Trop Kick them and it lowers their attack, you do it again, lowers their attack again, they do less and less damage, and they're forced to switch out or just take the hits and hope they can lash you out. And depending on the usage, again as we'll look at in a minute, it can be quite useful. So then the level up moves. First is level 9 as Rapid Spin. Obviously Bunsweet learns. It's only base 20 power move, normal type, but it has the added effect of removing anything from the battlefield, so spikes, toxic spikes, stealth rocks, so that's a really useful thing to have on your team at any point in competitive battling, so it's definitely a good idea. And seeing Tsareena getting this move is pretty nice. It makes her a spinner, a grass spinner for once. Then we have another level move here, which is level 41, Aromatherapy. Now this cures Tsareena of any status moves, as well as curing the rest of her team of status moves. So again, it's lending more to the supportive role there, but It can still be good for, being selfish and healing yourself because it means you toxic. Nah, not going to affect you really. One final level move though is our first properly offensive move, and it's High Jump Kick. And man, it's a base 130 power move with only 90% accuracy because it's High Jump Kick, and if you miss, you will take some damage to yourself, you crash. But it's still a really powerful move, especially with Tsareena's base 120 attack. Like, damn, that's gonna, do a lot of damage to whoever it hits, as long as it's not Ghost type. And yeah, it's a pretty good move for Tsareena to have in her move pool. Then we have TMs. First is TM06, Toxic, only 90% accuracy, bear in mind, because she is not a poison type, so she doesn't get the ability of being able to hit all the Toxics, but it can be good, especially if you're running it as defensive set. Toxic is just innate health point loss, so it's always good to be able to throw out a Toxic here and there. Then we have TM47, a Low Sweep, which is another fighting type move, only base 65, but added effects once more. And that is to lower the enemy's speed stat by every stage when you hit them with a low sweep. So you have Drop Kick to reduce attack, low sweep to reduce speed, so obviously you also wall out priority, so anything that was reasonably fast and relied on priority, you've taken that out of the equation, and you low sweep them once and they're even slower, which means you can probably outspeed them. And it's an added effect. It's not maybe the best move Tsareena gets, but it can be used in a good way. One final TM move has TM89 U-turn. Tsareena gets it, so she might as well use it. It's a good pivot move for her to come in and out of her team, so nothing amazing special there. Base 70 power move, bug type, etc. It's standard stuff. And then we have 3 egg moves to look at, and they're decent. The first of these is Grass, which is probably the least decent, but it can be used to put the opponent to sleep. It only has an accuracy of 55% though, so it's probably not the best move. But it can be used if you want to put your opponent to sleep and then switch out and set up on them. It's a possibility. The other two, as I mentioned, though, are better. The first of these is Play Rough. 90 base power, 90% accuracy. It's good. It's a physical move, obviously, linking with her physical attacking stats, and it's pretty good. It's not too bad in terms of your weaknesses. It doesn't actually cover any of those weaknesses, but it's good coverage overall because with just grass type moves, you've really got coverage against water, rock, ground. You haven't really got much. This fairy type move gives you coverage against dark, dragon, fighting. It's a good coverage overall, something she was lacking beforehand. And then one final move, it's another egg move, which is Synthesis, which is actually really good for a defensive set. Just restores your health points basically. Nothing overly special there, but it's pretty decent there, so you could think about running it on, as I mentioned, a defensive set, which we'll look at right now. So as I mentioned, Tsareena can be used either physically, sort of offensively, or defensively, so we're going to look at one of each. There are obviously more sets out there if you want to look in and sort of experiment, but these are sort of, I guess, basic ones you could use. The first of these is the offensive one, and the moveset is going to be Drop Kick, Play Rough, High Jump Kick, and then U-turn or Rapid Spin. Ability is Queenly Majesty, because as I mentioned, it's the better of the 3. Nature is Jolly, and held at it could be a Choice Scarf or an Assault Vest. Either one could really work here. EV-wise, we have maximum attack and maximum speed, and the last 3 are just thrown in special defense. They can go anywhere really, although special defense is probably the better one to put higher than physical defense because you have Drop Kick to lower attack to cover your physical defense. So as I mentioned, we have Drop Kick as our main move, as our stab move. It lowers attack, so any physical attackers come out, even if it's not going to do a load of damage, you can still Drop Kick them to reduce their attack and hinder their progress in killing you. And then we have Play Rough and High Jump Kick for coverage really. High Jump Kick of course has the chance to miss, so you could say I'm not going to run High Jump Kick, I don't want to risk it, and then you could run both U-turn and Rapid Spin if you wanted to. U-turn obviously is there for if you want some pivot, some quick move back and forth in terms of your party Pokemon. Or we have Rapid Spin, which is just obviously not inherently an offensive move, but if you have a spare spot really, you could run it, and then in the sort of situations where you have a free turn, you can Rapid Spin to clear the battlefield, and then you don't necessarily have to worry about running another big bulky Pokemon that gets Rapid Spin. Ability I don't really need to go over because it's the best one there. Nature is Jolly one, is because we're trying to increase the speed as much as we can. Tsareena's speed is not the best, it's not the highest of its stats, so we want to boost that as much as we can, including obviously the Choice Scarf here. Although Assault Vest is a different item choice. If you are using the Assault Vest, you might want to think about, instead of having maximum attack and speed, maybe maximum health points and maximum attack, because obviously you could even then switch out the Jolly Nature for something like Adamant or maybe even Impish. If you're going for sort of a offensive, a hybrid attacker tank, Assault Vest giving you some bulk, and then obviously Nature being Adamant to give you some nice damage. So you sort of want to mix them up depending on your held item and how you want to run it exactly, whether you want to go full offensive or whether you want to mix it up with offense and defense. But yeah, generally this set you would sort of just go in, if you're choiced of course. Drop kick, as I mentioned, if it's a physical attacker, and as long as they don't resist it, you might as well just spam drop kick, because it's going to lower their attack turn by turn, and going to force them to switch out basically, or force them to switch out, or just have to stay in and die, unless of course they have something up their sleeve. But yeah, and obviously if you're using Play Rough or High Jump Kick, Choice Scarf, obviously it's not a choice band, so it's not going to do loads of damage. But it will allow you to, in those situations where, for example, it's a Weavile expecting to use Ice Shard on you, but it can't use Ice Shard because it's a priority move, so you could High Jump Kick, that'd be 4 times effective, your Choice Scarf, so maybe you'll be faster than it, and boom, gone, so it'll be useful in those sorts of situations. I can't speak, but obviously you could take High Jump Kick out and have a U-turn and Rapid Spin for pivot, and obviously because you are Choice Scarf, the Rapid Spin isn't exactly the move you can use, if you wanted to. But if you're running the Assault Vest, definitely think about running Rapid Spin, because you can just use it whenever you want, and it'll be pretty good at clearing out the battlefield. So that's that set. If we move on to the defensive set, which I think is probably going to sort of work out better in the long term than a physical, sort of defensive set for Tsareena. So we're going to have Drop Kick again, Synthesis, Rapid Spin or Aromatherapy, and then U-turn, Grass Whistle or Toxic. Ability once again is Queen Your Majesty. Nature's Time is an impish one to boost our physical defense and lower our special attack, and the held item is going to be a Leftovers this time, with the EVs being maximum health points and maximum defense, with the rest in attack. So, what have we got here? Well, Drop Kick is our attacking move basically. We haven't got many of those, just the 1 or 2, so really our Drop Kick is our main attacking move, and also a way to nullify physical attacks coming in. Synthesis is our health restoration method alongside Leftovers, so you can use that every other turn or so to restore health points when you need it. And then the choice here of Rapid Spin or Aromatherapy is whether you want a spinner or more of a supportive Pokemon, I suppose. I mean, spinning is fairly supportive anyway, but Aromatherapy heals your team, so if you need something on your team to heal status conditions, you can run that, because you definitely want to run one. So it's the option here instead of Rapid Spin, because you've already got a spinner, but you've got no way to heal status, so this could be the slot that it fills here. And then U-turn, Grass Whistle or Toxic is up to you. U-turn gives you some pivot on this set, whereas Grass Whistle gives you the possibility to put them to sleep and then switch out, although as I mentioned, fairly low accuracy, so probably not the best move to use. Or you have Toxic here to Toxic an opponent, and then as you Synthesis and Drop Kick them slowly, they will die faster than you, for example. You have Aromatherapy possibly to heal any toxics on you, so that's how that would work there. The impish nature is to boost our physical defense. You could instead run a special defense boosting nature, because you could have, say, okay, got a Drop Kick to lower any physical attackers down, so I don't really need to focus on it too much, but this particular setup is full physical defense, bulking that up as much as you can, so that's why that is as such. The Leftovers held item could be switched out for something else if you really wanted to, although I think it's probably the better choice. There's not much else you could really do apart from a berry that would reduce a super effective attack, but that's only useful in one situation, so Leftovers probably the better of the few options. And as I mentioned, obviously EVs rather, maximum health points in defense. You could put some defense ones in special defense as well to balance out a bit, so you get some sort of good base defenses rather than put it all in one. But or you could, instead of trickling the last 4 in attack, put some in special defense, just to peace of mind basically. But in terms of using this set, as I mentioned, it's defensive, it's supportive. Whether or not Rapid Spin, obviously you might want to wait until there are stuff on the field to clear and then switch it in on that case. And then obviously Aromatherapy is again similar. Once a Pokemon on your team is burned or paralysed, you can Aromatherapy them and heal that stuff up. So yeah, it's just a general supportive set. You can go in Rapid Spin, Drop Kick if you've got sort of time or space, and then Synthesis to heal up and get out of there with U-turn. So yeah, supportive set. It's meant for coming in and helping out every now and again. It's not meant for sitting in battle forever. So yeah, that is that for Tsareena really. Those are the 2 sets I sort of decided to showcase. There are obviously more. I read about a dual screen set you could use, because obviously it prevents priority, so you'll be able to get at least 1 screen set up before they manage to attack you, so you could use it for that. But there are a few different things to do here. So, as I mentioned, don't forget to vote for next episode's Pokemon, where I'm covering Alolan Sandslash or Alolan Ninetales. So let me know which one you want to see down below in the comment section by commenting Sandslash or Ninetales, and we'll have a nice icy episode next time. But for now, this is going to be it for today, so I shall be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.